everybody, it's Michael Levitis from jurisq.com, a legal network where we bring you attorneys to discuss the news and legal arena, frequently asked legal questions. And today we brought back Yakov Spektor. Yakov, welcome back.
Hi, Michael. Hi, everyone.
And the reason why I brought you back is because I saw in the news a story where a former attorney got arrested for immigration scam. And allegedly, a lot of people got hurt, lost their money. There are victims, immigrants who spend money essentially for nothing. And we want to do a public service here. We want to discuss what was done allegedly by this attorney or former attorney and what you can do to protect yourself from such unscrupulous parties. Okay, so let's just give some background on it, Yakov. The former attorney's name is Carlos Moreno, and now he's actually a professor at some CUNY school. But apart from being a professor, allegedly he was doing something nefarious for which he was sentenced to 3 years in prison in the first week of August. Now, New York Post article says he collected more than $140,000 from clients, even after he was disbarred for something else years ago. And what he did is something called a 10-year green card scam. Yakov, can you tell us what is a 10-year green card scam?
I can, and I will. Now, look, guys, before I tell you about that particular scam, one thing that I want you to know: if you're in the market for a lawyer, any lawyer, especially an immigration lawyer, which probably means that you're an immigrant, you don't know how things might work in a new country, and you're dealing with someone who is already dealing with an area of law which is super complex. Okay, so you basically don't trust. It's super important to do research. If you look at the lawyer who got arrested, a professor in CUNY. He wasn't arrested, by the way, because he was a professor in CUNY. It's not a crime just yet, but what the things that he was doing, the 10-year green card scam, as the newspapers call it. Right. I'll tell you this. It's essentially it's 50% legal. It's not a scam. 50%.
Could it be almost legal, like almost pregnant?
Well, you cannot be almost pregnant, but you could file immigration paperwork, and that paperwork just based on the things that you say would either be considered completely legitimate or completely fraudulent.
Okay. And
now, without sort of further ado, let me explain to you what he was doing. So the reason why it's called a 10-year green card scam is because there is this obscure section in the law that says that if you've been here without any status for 10 years, lived here for 10 years, been a good person, no criminal record, have some relatives who might be US citizens or permanent residents, you might be able, to ask for a green card. But there is a catch. The only way how you can do that, you have to ask for that green card from the immigration judge. And that means that you have to be essentially in immigration court, in deportation proceedings. That means that you have to sort of put yourself in deportation proceedings, and then ask an immigration judge if you're eligible to get you the green card under that law.
Sounds a little risky.
It is a little risky. That's why, most people don't really go and put themselves in deportation proceedings. What if you're actually not eligible? What if, the hardship that you're claiming to your US citizen relative or permanent resident relative, because essentially you have to convince the judge that, oh, judge, I've been living here for so long. I have family here. If the government deports me, it's going to be an extreme hardship on my US citizen children, my US citizen wife. You have to show extreme hardship. What if the judge doesn't agree with you? You'll get a deportation order.
Yeah, and it does say, I'm sorry to interrupt, it does say in the article on Mr. Moreno that a lot of his clients were deported as a result of his actions.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's definitely not surprising, but I'm sure that those people who were deported, that's not what they signed up for. Mm-hmm. Furthermore, I'm sure they weren't. They're more. They weren't really the co-conspirators of Mr. Moreno. They were.
Right. They didn't know better.
Victims. Okay, and that's the reason. You know, he's a professor at CUNY. He is an immigration lawyer, or at least he was an immigration lawyer until very recently. He looks super pleasant. You know, he looks like you know, a person that you would trust your immigration case to. But this is essentially what happened. He tried to put them in front of an immigration judge. And in order to do that, that by itself is not a crime just yet. Okay, but the only way to get yourself in front of the immigration judge is basically to have the government pay attention to you, right? To say, oh, look, this guy is here without any status. Let's try and deport him. And then they'll send your case over to the immigration judge to try to make their case that the immigration judge should order him deported. So the way it's done is that what people like Mr. Moreno and other people who sort of peddle in that scam do, they will file a fake asylum application for you. Okay. With the intention that that asylum application will get denied and the case will get forwarded to the immigration judge for your deportation proceedings.
I see.
Now, I don't know that with 100% certainty that that's what he did. He's innocent until proven guilty. Right. But most likely, when the newspapers are talking about this particular scam, this is what they're talking about. Okay, so it's super important. If someone tells you, you're eligible for that green card, I'll get you that green card. It might be true. You might be eligible for it. And yet you could still fall the victim to the scam. Do your research.
So Yakov, thank you for explaining it so in such simple terms. The takeaway here, correct me if I'm wrong, is that it's about consent and full disclosure to your clients. First of all, let's put aside the fact that he was not licensed at a time, which is a crime, a state crime in of itself. Unauthorized practice of law is a crime in New York State. That's one. Second of all, he filed possibly fake asylum claims to get in front of a judge. That's also a crime, correct?
It is.
Yeah. Third, he put his clients in jeopardy. He was very cavalier with them in that he put them in front of a judge where there was a big likelihood that the clients could get deported. So he put them in big jeopardy and it basically played with their lives, played with their status in America.
Now, Michael, you are correct. It's the responsibility is primarily with them, but don't forget that his clients were adults. Okay, they most likely, you know, I could imagine a situation when he told them exactly what he will do for them. He said he might have told them that, hey, you know what? Yeah. I'll file this fake asylum application for you just to get you in front of the immigration judge, and then we'll try for your green card. Okay, but he knows better. He knows the laws. He's the lawyer. It's his responsibility to advise his clients accordingly, and this is where he failed.
Yeah, and you brought up a very good point in the beginning that his clients, of course, they're immigrants, obviously, but they are mostly, it seems, Spanish-speaking immigrants who may not have the full knowledge or command of the English language to understand what's going on. As a matter of fact, when I Googled Mr. Carlos Moreno, what came up is abogado Carlos Moreno, which means attorney. So which means Spanish-speaking clients, people are Googling this attorney in Spanish. So they are vulnerable people that deserve protection from an expert, from authority on immigration law. Allegedly, this was not the case here. Look, what is the cautionary tale here, Yakov, is that you have to search before you come and pay money to an attorney. How do you verify, Yakov, that this person actually has a license to practice in New York and federal courts?
You know, that's so this question actually kind of caught me off guard. There is a way to verify it.
That's my job.
You might have to go to the courthouse to do so. Okay, the courthouses usually they would list. They would have you know, somewhere in the corner tucked away from you know, from the eyes of people who are just sitting there waiting for their case to go through. So they're not about to read every you know, every advertisement that's posted on the corkboard. Okay, but you know, they do post the names of the lawyers who were disbarred. Okay. Right. But you know, am I saying that you should go to the courthouse and get a list of people who are disbarred? No, because you got to understand that it is a crime to make yourself out to be a lawyer if you're not. Okay, that's objectively a crime. There's not, you're going to call a bunch of lawyers. That's not something that you have to worry about, that they might not be lawyers. What you have to worry about, though, is, are they good? Are they honest? Are they going to have my best interests in mind? And here, the only way to really you know, to get the right answers is to look at the Google reviews, to talk to your to maybe some of your friends hired that person before. Ask around, do your research, pay for a consultation. You know, do a few of those consultations. It's like choosing good lawyers, like choosing a good doctor.
Get a second opinion, a third opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Yakov, you hit it right in the nail. It is public information if somebody is disbarred, so you can check, like you said, in the courthouse. Possibly you can also search for their name online, and there may be records on internet showing disbarment proceedings and documents relating to it, which may indicate that this attorney was disbarred. So whoever is listening in, looking for attorneys, all types of attorneys, specifically immigration, do your homework, make sure the attorney is credible, he or she is indeed an attorney. We know that Yakov Spektor is an attorney. We checked.
That's as little as we know.
Exactly. And the phone number and the website and the name of Yakov Spektor is on the bottom of the screen. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact Yakov for any consultation, for second, third opinion about your case, because this is actually a life-altering decision which attorney to pick to represent you in front of a federal judge in your immigration case. I suggest you stay tuned for our further sessions, because after this one, we're going to talk about other scams, and we're going to talk about top 3 other immigration scams that are out there that you should be mindful of. And this way, next time you talk to an attorney, you talk to a paralegal, and that's actually another subject I want to talk to you about. Hiring a paralegal instead of an attorney for your immigration case. That's a whole different topic we're going to talk about. I know it's controversial, but guess what? We will get into it. So stay tuned for top 3 immigration scams. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you, Yakov.
Take care.
Take care.